Welcome back to another massive episode of English with Podcasts. I am Emma, and I am so thrilled to see you here. Today we are tackling a topic that defines your professional success more than any other skill: navigating conflict at work.
And I am Leo. Hello, Emma. Hello to our global family. Conflict is inevitable. Whether you are in New York, Tokyo, or London, people will disagree. But the difference between a problem employee and a leader is how they disagree.
Exactly. In English, there is a very thin line between being assertive and being aggressive. If you use the wrong word, you can damage a professional relationship forever.
Today, we are going to walk through a massive variety of essential situations you will face in the office. We are going to role-play these together so you can hear exactly how a natural, polite, yet firm conversation sounds.
If you want to handle office politics in English with 100% confidence, click the like button right now.
And please subscribe. Join our daily English family. We release these long-form episodes to give you the massive listening stamina you need to become fluent. Let's start with the most common situation: disagreeing with an idea in a meeting. Emma, I think we should spend the entire budget on Instagram ads this month.
I see your point, Leo, but I'm concerned that we might be neglecting our email subscribers. Perhaps we could split the budget?
Notice what Emma did there. She didn't say no or that's a bad idea. She used the softener, I see your point, but.
Pro tip: in English, we often use I'm concerned or I'm worried instead of saying you are wrong. It focuses on the risk, not the person.
What if someone interrupts you? This is a major source of conflict.
So the main strategy for the first quarter is...
Wait, I think we should talk about the second quarter first.
Leo, if I could just finish this point, I'd be happy to hear your thoughts on the second quarter right after.
Oh, sorry. Please continue.
Key phrase: if I could just finish this point. It is a polite way to reclaim the floor.
Let's talk about missed deadlines. This is where things get heated.
Leo, I noticed the report wasn't in my inbox this morning. Is everything okay?
I've been really busy with the other project, Emma. I'll get to it eventually.
I understand you're busy, but this report is a dependency for the whole team. Can we agree on a firm time for the handoff?
Notice Emma used the word dependency. That's a great corporate word. It means other people cannot work until you finish.
And instead of saying, give it to me now, I asked, can we agree on a firm time? This invites Leo to be part of the solution.
What about constructive criticism? Giving feedback to a colleague can be awkward.
Leo, do you have a moment to chat about the presentation yesterday?
Sure, what's up?
You did a great job on the data. However, I felt that the pacing was a bit fast for the clients. Maybe next time we could add a Q&A break in the middle.
This is the sandwich method. Positive, negative, positive.
Vocabulary alert: use however instead of but. It sounds much more professional in a formal setting.
Now, let's look at a toxic situation. The credit stealer. Someone takes credit for your work.
And that is how I came up with the new logo design, says Leo to the boss.
Wait, Emma did that.
Actually, Leo and I collaborated closely on that. I focused on the color palette and the initial sketches, while Leo handled the final rendering. It was a great team effort.
Leo didn't call me a liar. She inserted herself back into the narrative.
Strategy: use actually to correct a fact gently. It signals that you are providing more context rather than a direct contradiction.
Let's talk about negotiating workload. Sometimes the conflict is with your boss.
Leo, I need you to finish these 3 extra projects by Friday.
I'd love to help with those. However, looking at my current capacity, if I take these on, the quality of the main project might suffer. Which of these should I prioritize?
This is brilliant. Leo didn't say, no, I'm too tired. He talked about capacity and priority. Corporate speak: capacity means how much time and energy you have available for work.
What if there is a personal conflict? Someone is being rude or unprofessional.
Leo, I've noticed a bit of tension in our recent emails. I'd like to clear the air. Is there something we should discuss?
I just feel like you don't value my input.
I'm sorry you feel that way. That certainly wasn't my intention. Let's talk about how we can communicate better moving forward.
Clear the air. That is a fantastic idiom. It means to resolve hidden anger or misunderstandings.
The I statement. Notice I said, I've noticed tension, not you are being mean. Always start with your own observation to avoid making the other person feel attacked.
Let's talk about brainstorming conflicts when you have two completely different visions.
I think the website should be bright and colorful.
And I think it should be dark and minimalist.
It seems we have a bit of a disconnect here. Why don't we look at some user data to see what our customers prefer?
Disconnect is a polite way to say we completely disagree.
By suggesting user data, we move the conflict away from Emma versus Leo and toward the facts.
We should also cover apologizing. Sometimes you are the one who caused the conflict.
Leo, I realize I was a bit sharp in the meeting earlier. I was stressed about the deadline, but that's no excuse. I apologize.
Thanks, Emma. I appreciate you saying that. It was a stressful morning for all of us.
A real apology is short, no if or but, just I apologize.
Finally, let's talk about escalation when you can't solve it alone.
Neutral third party. This sounds much better than saying I'm telling on you.
But wait, Emma, we need to go deeper. What about passive-aggressive behavior?
Oh, that is the hardest one. Like when a colleague says, fine, we'll do it your way since you're the expert.
I sense some hesitation in your voice, Emma. If you have a counterproposal, I'd really like to hear it now so we can be fully aligned.
Alignment. That is a massive corporate buzzword. It means everyone agrees on the goal.
Let's look at remote work conflicts. These happen on Slack or Microsoft Teams.
Leo, why did you send me that question mark on my message? It felt a bit aggressive.
Oh, I was just in a rush. I didn't mean to sound rude.
Pro tip. In text, always use emojis or extra words to show your tone. Without a voice, people assume the worst.
What about setting boundaries? When a colleague calls you at 9 p.m. on a Sunday.
Hi, Leo. I see you called. I generally don't check work messages over the weekend to recharge. Can we discuss this first thing Monday morning?
Recharge. That's a polite way to say I'm not working for free right now.
Let's talk about the gossip. What do you do if a colleague starts complaining about someone else?
Did you hear about what Sarah did in the meeting? She's so disorganized.
I haven't noticed that, actually. I've always found her quite professional. Anyway, back to the project.
Pivot. Emma pivoted the conversation. She didn't join the gossip, but she wasn't mean to me either.
What about salary disagreements? This is a conflict with the company.
I've been looking at the market rates for my role, and based on my recent performance, I'd like to discuss a remuneration adjustment.
Remuneration is a fancy word for pay. It sounds more professional than I want more money.
And what if they say no?
I understand the budget is tight. What milestones would I need to hit to make this a possibility in 6 months?
The growth mindset approach. You aren't fighting, you are planning.
Let's look at cultural disconnects. In some cultures, yes means I hear you, not I agree.
I've noticed we have different communication styles. To make sure we're on the same page, could we summarize our action items in writing?
Action items. These are the specific tasks people must do after a meeting.
What about the micromanager conflict, when your boss checks your work every 5 minutes?
I appreciate your support, Leo. To help me work more efficiently, would it be possible to give me more autonomy on this task? I'll provide you with a full update every Friday.
Autonomy. That means the freedom to do your job without someone watching you.
Let's talk about office resources, like who gets the big desk or the new laptop.
I've noticed the new software is only on your computer, Emma. Since I handle the design work, it would be a huge productivity booster if I could have access as well.
Notice the focus on productivity. It's not about I want a new toy, it's about I want to work better.
What if a colleague is constantly late for meetings?
When you arrive late, we have to recap the first 10 minutes, which cuts into our working time. Can we move the meeting to a time that fits your schedule better?
The problem solver framing. You aren't attacking their character, you are trying to fix the schedule.
Let's discuss inclusivity conflicts. Someone keeps leaving a team member out of emails.
I noticed Sarah wasn't on the thread for the client update. Since she's the lead on the account, we should make sure she's looped in from now on.
Looped in. This means to be included in the information flow.
What about the old way versus new way conflict?
I know we've always done it this way, but I found a tool that could automate the process. Would you be open to a pilot run next week?
Pilot run. This is a small test. It's less scary than a total change.
Let's look at giving bad news, like a project being canceled.
I have some difficult news to share. The board has decided to pivot away from the current project. I know we put in a lot of effort, so let's discuss how we can transition our work to the new goals.
Transition. It sounds much smoother than throwing away the work.
What if someone is not pulling their weight, not doing enough work?
I feel like I'm handling the majority of the research phase. Can we reevaluate the division of labor to make sure the workload is balanced?
Division of labor. A very formal and effective term for who does what.
Let's talk about feedback loops.
I'd like to establish a regular feedback loop so we can catch any small issues before they become big conflicts. How does a 15-minute check-in sound?
This is proactive conflict resolution. You are fixing the problem before it even starts.
What if you need to disagree with a direct report, someone who works for you?
I appreciate your creativity here, but for this specific client, we need to stick to the brand guidelines. Let's save this idea for a more experimental project.
Stick to the guidelines. This is a firm but professional boundary.
Let's look at the office temperature conflict. Yes, people fight over the air conditioning.
I've noticed the office feels quite cold today. Would anyone mind if I adjusted the thermostat by a few degrees?
Always ask the room. It's a group conflict, not just you.
What about the credit note conflict, when a client is unhappy?
I hear your frustration. Let's look at the terms and conditions together and see how we can reach a mutual agreement.
Mutual agreement. This is the ultimate goal of any conflict.
We have truly covered every corner of the office today, from the boardroom to the water cooler.
Remember, the goal of Office English isn't to win the fight. It's to find a solution while keeping your reputation as a professional. If you found this useful, tell us in the comments. Have you ever had a credit stealer at your job? How did you handle it?
And if you made it to the end of this massive script, comment the word office so we know you are a dedicated student.
You are building your professional vocabulary every day. Keep going.
See you in the next episode. Bye-bye.
Goodbye, everyone.